If someone else can decide what happens within you, isn't that the ultimate failure? Hello guys, welcome to the second episode of Mindset Therapy. So the first one, you guys supported me amazingly and that was such a wonderful experience. And I cannot thank you all enough because this was so much more than I expected and it was an amazing experience, to be honest. So today we'll be talking about something which is completely the opposite of what I just said. It is about the lack of support. The lack of support and help or appreciation you might receive for doing something outside the box, outside your safety box. Now, for those of you who are doing something outside your safety box and outside your comfort zone or outside your daily norm and expect to not come across any hatred or any opposite or completely opposite view or opinion on your product, services, or your content, you guys are living in La La Land. I'm not even joking. Because there are approximately 7 billion people in the world right now. Okay, approximately. So that means 7 billion different opinions on one thing. So then you might ask, then how come, me and my friend, both of us like the same song or both of us have the same view on something? Their reasonings for the end result of you both liking is different. So their reasoning is different. They might like it because of something else, but you might like it because of something else, but in the end result, you both like it. So it's not a coincidence. It's just the reasonings each of us have for something. Now, I'll just explain it to you with an example, okay? So let's say, for example, I take a glass of water, it's halfway filled, I place it on a tabletop. I place 5 people around the glass of water and ask them to tell me their first impression or the first things what they noticed and what interested them about the glass of water. So first person, he noticed the design of the glass, okay? The second person, he noticed the water in the glass. He noticed he was wondering why there was a half glass of water. Then the third person, he was more interested in knowing where the glass was manufactured. The fourth person, he was interested in knowing the size of the glass. Now the fifth person, he was an art enthusiast, so he was curious on how to implement art onto the glass. Now you see, it was just one glass of water which was placed and 5 people, and 5 of them, there was 5 different things which interested them or 5 different opinions. So you cannot satisfy everyone. It is something which is quite impossible with the population right now. You cannot satisfy everyone. So if you're happy with it, you'll have to do it alongside the hate and the contradiction of opinions. Now, when I say hatred, I really don't want to conceal or restrict this topic to just hate or just people throwing hate at each other. Now, I'm talking about people who are actually restricting you from doing something. Now, when you talk about such kind of people, there are 2 sets of people. And the first set of people, okay, they are the ones who, they're the ones who actually see you as a threat, okay? It could be your competitors, okay, when you're in business field or in any other field, there's a lot of competition. So it could be your competitors. So they actually want to genuinely see you come down. So they are ready to commit a certain time off of their day to actually pull you down. So that's one set of people. Another set of people are the ones who actually care and are actually concerned about your safety. So they think after this is, if you do that, it could harm you, and they're genuinely concerned. And so those kind of people are the ones, your parents or your family members or your relatives who actually care. Now, when you're talking about the first set of people, there's some things which you can change and which you cannot. Now, let's say, for example, you are doing a makeup tutorial, okay? You're a girl and you're doing makeup tutorial, and you put a lot of work into it, and you put out a content which was amazing, okay? And a lot of people watched it, a lot of people liked it, and then you were happy. You're going through the comments, and you come across one such comment. It just said, "You are so ugly," okay? So the comment said, "You are so ugly." Now that first few seconds, that first few little time when you see or when you read something like that, that initial hurt and pain is something which you cannot change. But what happens after that few seconds or that little time is for you to decide. You could either sit and cry over it, or you could go and make another video. You could either sit and miss out the special moments in your life, or go enjoy it. Or you could either sit and cry or say that 30 other people think I'm beautiful and I don't have to prove anyone. Even if I have to, your words don't matter, because there are thousands of people who actually like my content for whatever reason it might be. So you don't have to prove anyone right or wrong. Now let me just explain it to you through a short story, okay? So this is not a fairy tale or any of those twinkle tales like last time. It's a small short story which I heard. Again, it made a lot of sense. So there was this man, okay? He was working in a corporate office, but he was very frustrated and he was very annoyed. He really didn't like the job, okay? And he was planning to quit. So he was going over to the HR manager to tell him that he wanted to quit. So he walks to the HR manager. He tells the manager, "I want to quit. I can't do this anymore." So the manager was taken by a surprise, but then he was like, "Okay, what's the reason? Why do you want to quit?" So the man, he tells the manager he cannot do this because there's so much negativity in the office. There are people talking shit about each other. There are people gossiping. There are negative people. There are mean people. There's no unity in the office. And it's something which, the environment is something which I cannot handle and I want to quit. So the manager was like, "Okay, fair play. You can leave the first thing tomorrow. But then just before you leave, I have just one task for you and you can do that. Then you can leave tomorrow. You don't have to come tomorrow onwards." So the man was like, "Okay, that's fine. I'll do one last task. It's okay. What's the task?" So the manager, he goes and fills up a glass of water up to the brim. It was completely filled up, and he gives it to the man. Now the manager tells him, "Take a round around the office without spilling one drop of water." The man thought it was a weird task, but then it was the last task he'll ever be doing for the company, so he was like, "Okay, why not?" Now he takes the glass of water, he takes a whole round around the office. Now when he reaches back, he did not even spill one drop of water. The manager takes the glass of water and asks him, "Did you see those negative people you were talking about before?" He was like, "No." "Did you come across any mean hate comments?" He was like, "No." "Did you see people gossiping about each other?" He was like, "No." "Did you find the presence of or the lack of unity in the office?" The man was like, "No." So the manager told him, "It is what you focus on what matters." It could be the most important thing in your life, but then you don't focus on it enough. It won't matter enough. But it could be the least important thing in your life, but then the more you focus on it, that's the more it's gonna matter to you. Now, as of the second set of people who actually care and genuinely is concerned about you. Now, as Indian students, to be honest, we come across this very often. Parents want you to do something safe and has a steady income, but then your passion might be something else. So the daughter wants to do arts, but then the father or the mother doesn't like it because it doesn't have a secured future in it. So they tell her to go and become a doctor or a lawyer. So that's something which we all come across very often. Now, how do you handle these people, or how do you make sense? Because they're your parents, and whatever they say are going to be for your good, and obviously it is for your good. But there's a theory, or there's a reasoning why they think it might, or why they restrict you. One reason is that they care about your safety. Another reason is, I'll just explain it to you through an example again. Okay, just imagine you're standing. There's a wall in front of you. Okay, and you're standing on one side, and on the other side of the wall, there's a complete massacre going on. There's violence. There's people killing each other. There's wars. There's so much happening right on the other side of the wall. Now there's a ladder kept and a peephole. Now you climb up the ladder and you look, and afar on the distance you see a valley full of gardens and a river flowing, a waterfall, and it's such a beautiful, amazing view out there. And the environment is so peaceful. You only look at that. But whereas your parents are looking through the peephole, they're only seeing the war. But just because you are seeing the valley doesn't mean the war or the massacre or the violence doesn't exist. It does exist, but then you are able to see the valley, the amazing view out there. But then your parents are not. They are judging the path which you took by what they can see. So, good or bad, right or wrong, you decide. I've put up a post a few days ago. I'm not sure if you all saw it, but then it said, if someone else can decide what happens within you, isn't that the ultimate failure? Somebody else decides what you want to do. Somebody else decides how you have to feel. Somebody else decides how you're going to feel when you wake up the next day. I would state it as an ultimate slavery, to be honest, because somebody else's opinions are deciding and are imposed on you to change however you feel. Now you respect opinions, but then you don't let them impose it on you. That's something which Gary Vee always tells. You respect the criticism, but then you don't let them impose it on you. Now it is your life. You decide how it is. You decide how you have to feel. You're the one in charge. Be the author of your life. And thank you all for your support. It actually means a ton. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day and a week ahead. I'll see you all next week. Stay blessed. Stay happy. Bye-bye.